All right, so get this. We're diving deep today into the world of art sales, but not just any art sales.
Right.
We're talking about the ones that leave you scratching your head. But wait a minute, is that really considered art?
Yeah, like a banana duct taped to a wall or an unmade bed fetching millions.
Exactly. Things that make you wonder what's going on in the art world.
Well, that's the beauty of conceptual art, you see.
Okay, hold on. So what exactly makes something conceptual art?
Well, it's more about the idea, the concept behind the piece than the actual object itself.
So it's like the physical thing is just a vehicle for the message the artist is trying to convey.
Precisely. Take The Comedian, for example.
Oh yeah, the banana taped to the wall.
That's the one by Maurizio Catalan. It's not about the banana itself, but the commentary on the art market consumerism, the whole idea of value.
And it actually sold for $120,000.
It did. But then another artist came along and ate the banana right off the wall.
No way. They ate the art. What happened then?
Well, it just added another layer to the piece,
So the act of eating it became part of the art itself.
Exactly. A commentary on how fleeting and temporary art can be.
Wow, okay, that's wild. Okay, so then what about Tracy Emin's My Bed? How does an unmade bed become a masterpiece worth millions?
Well, My Bed is a powerful example of how personal experience can become art.
But it's literally just her bed.
It's an installation. It's a snapshot of her life during a difficult time, a period of depression and heartbreak.
I see, so it's about the rawness of those emotions.
Exactly. The crumpled sheets, empty bottles, personal belongings scattered around, they all add to this feeling of raw emotion, and it resonated with people.
It did. It sold for £2.5 million.
And sparked a huge debate about authenticity, the role of personal experience in art, what makes a masterpiece.
So is this kind of thing like a modern phenomenon? Or has conceptual art been around for a while?
Oh, no, it has its roots in the early 20th century with movements like Dadaism and Surrealism.
Those names ring a bell vaguely.
They were all about challenging traditional art forms, using everyday objects, unconventional techniques to make people think and question societal norms.
So this idea of art being more than just the object itself, it's got a pretty long history.
Absolutely. But these recent examples, they're definitely pushing the boundaries even further.
Yeah. I mean, a banana taped to a wall, it's hard to top that in terms of weirdness.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you hear about the Venus de Milo made entirely out of...
Out of what? Don't leave me hanging.
Well, let's just say it wasn't marble.
Okay, now you have to tell me.
You ready for this? It was made of excrement.
Seriously, someone made a Venus de Milo out of that.
Yep, by the artist Zhu Cheng.
What was he going for with that?
He wanted to provoke a reaction to make people confront their ideas about beauty, disgust, and the value we attach to art.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful statement. But who would actually buy that?
Well, a Swiss art collector paid $45,000 for it.
No way. I guess shock value and controversy do have a price tag in the art world.
They certainly do. And speaking of pushing boundaries, what about those acrylic cubes filled with NYC garbage?
Oh, yeah, those are something else. Is that art or just plain gross?
Well, that's the work of Justin Gignac. He calls it NYC garbage.
So he literally takes trash off the streets of New York, puts it in these cubes, and sells them.
He does, and people buy them. Some for as much as $100 per cube.
That's insane. But I guess it makes you think about what we consider valuable. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a commentary on consumerism waste, how we assign value to things.
It's like turning trash into treasure, literally. Okay, my mind is officially blown, but there's one more thing we need to tackle, and it might be the weirdest of them all, NFTs.
Ah, yes, NFTs.
It's like owning a digital thing, a one-of-a-kind digital thing, but how does that even work?
NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, they're revolutionizing the way we think about digital ownership.
Okay, slow down a bit. NFTs, blockchain, all this stuff, it's a bit much.
Think of it like this. Imagine you have a digital trade card. An NFT is like a unique code embedded on that card, verifying its authenticity, proving you're the sole owner.
Okay, and this code lives on the blockchain, which is like a giant public record that can't be changed or faked.
Exactly. So even though the trading card is digital, the NFT proves it's one of a kind, making it valuable.
So the blockchain acts as a digital vault, ensuring these digital assets are unique and can't be duplicated.
Precisely. And that's what's groundbreaking. Suddenly, anything digital, from art and music to virtual real estate, even tweets, can be owned and traded securely.
Wow. Okay, so this whole NFT thing, it's more than just a fad. It's changing how we think about ownership in the digital world.
It's definitely shaking things up. but we've only just scratched the surface.
Okay, my curiosity is officially piqued.
Good, because in the next part, we'll delve deeper into the wild world of NFTs and explore some of the most bizarre things people have sold as NFTs.
You've got my attention. Can't wait to hear what digital oddities await us.
So are you ready to jump back into this world of NFTs?
Oh, absolutely. I'm hooked. You mentioned some bizarre things people have sold as NFTs. What else is out there?
Well, how about a virtual house?
A house. Like a real house, but in the digital world.
Exactly, like a piece of virtual real estate in the metaverse.
Mm.
There's this Canadian artist, Krista Kim, she created Mars House.
Mars House.
It's this stunning, futuristic digital home that you can actually live in using virtual reality.
And someone bought this.
They did. It sold for over $500,000.
$500,000 for a house you can't even physically step inside? That's wild.
It is, but it shows you the growing importance of digital ownership, especially as we spend more and more time online.
So for some people, owning a piece of the metaverse, it's like an investment, like buying real estate in the real world.
Exactly. It's a digital asset.
So if virtual homes are a thing, what about virtual furniture?
Funny you should ask. There was this Argentinian designer who sold a collection of impossible virtual furniture as NFTs.
Impossible furniture.
Yeah, these surreal, mind-bending designs that could only exist digitally, like tables floating in midair, chairs morphing into abstract shapes.
That's crazy. Did they actually sell?
Oh, yeah. He made over $450,000 in just minutes.
Wow, so I could have a digital home decked out with furniture that defies the laws of physics. This is pretty fascinating.
It is. But those were digital creations. What about something from the real world being sold as an NFT?
Okay, I'm intrigued. What could that be?
How about a twig?
A twig, like from a tree.
But this wasn't just any twig. It was curated for dogs.
You're kidding, right?
Nope. And the starting bid was $1,200.
Okay, now that's just wild. A twig for dogs as an NFT. I'm starting to think anything can be an NFT these days.
Oh, and you're not wrong. People have sold everything from digital artwork and music to tweets and even virtual sneakers. Remember that Venus de Milo made of excrement we talked about earlier?
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Well, that was also sold as an NFT.
So even the most controversial pieces find a home in the NFT world. It makes you wonder, what makes something valuable in this digital space? Is it scarcity the story behind it, or just pure hype?
It's a mix of all those things. Scarcity is key since NFTs are unique and limited. But the story, the cultural relevance, the artist's reputation all play a role. And yeah, hype can definitely drive up prices in the short term.
So it's a bit like the art world in general, then a mix of objective and subjective factors.
Exactly. But the NFT market is still so young, it's like the Wild West out there. New trends and innovations popping up all the time.
So is it all just a bubble waiting to burst? Or are NFTs here to stay?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Nobody knows for sure. Some people believe NFTs are revolutionary, that they'll transform how we own and value digital assets. Others think it's a fad driven by speculation.
I can see both sides. On one hand, it's amazing how NFTs are giving creators more control over their work. But then some of these examples we've talked about, they just seem so absurd.
It's a mixed bag for sure, but that's what makes it so interesting. We're seeing a cultural shift happening right before our eyes. The lines between the physical and digital worlds are blurring.
Okay, my head is spinning, but in a good way. What other crazy NFT examples do you have?
How about digital scents?
Digital scents? Like perfume? But
Yeah.
how do you smell it?
You don't, not in the traditional sense. It's more about owning the digital representation of a scent tied to the blockchain.
So it's like owning the idea of a smell.
Exactly. It's pretty out there, but it shows you the creative potential of NFTs is limitless.
It seems like nothing is off limits in the NFT world.
You know what would be even weirder than a digital scent?
I can't even imagine. What is it?
Owning a piece of someone's body as an NFT.
You're joking, right?
Nope. A Croatian tennis player, Alexandra Olinikova, she sold a portion of her arm as an NFT to raise money for her career.
Now that takes digital ownership to a whole new level. Makes you wonder what's next.
Right, and that brings up a big question. If anything can be an NFT, where do we draw the line? Is there anything that shouldn't be commodified this way?
That's a tough question with no easy answers. As NFTs become more common, we'll need to have serious discussions about the ethics of it all and how it impacts society. It's not just about the novelty or the potential profits. There are deeper questions about ownership value, even the nature of art, that we need to consider.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating. It's not just about understanding the technology, it's about understanding ourselves and how we connect with this digital world.
Well said. I'm ready for more insights on this. Okay, so we've explored this wild world of weird art and NFTs. right from bananas taped to walls to digital scents.
Virtual houses, twigs for dogs, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. But now I'm curious, are NFTs just a playground for the rich and famous, or is there something here for the average person?
Well, that's a great question, and the answer is it's a bit of both. We've seen some.
So instead of just posting my vacation photos on Instagram, I could turn them into NFTs and sell them.
Exactly. Or imagine you're a musician. You could release your music as NFTs, giving your fans a unique way to support you and own a piece of your art.
It's a pretty cool concept. It's like a whole new model for creative ownership and distribution.
Precisely. And it's not just limited to art and music. Imagine owning digital tickets to a concert or a game that can't be faked. Or using NFTs to verify your identity or track where a product came from. The possibilities are endless.
Okay, now you're making me think, if I could create an NFT, what would it be? Maybe a collection of my best dad jokes, limited edition, of course.
I'd buy that. But seriously, NFTs have the power to empower creators and give them more control over their work. It's a way to connect with your audience and build a community around what you create.
So it's not just about making a quick buck. There's a bigger picture here.
Absolutely. NFTs are still in their early stages, but they have the potential to change the creative industries, empower artists, and change how we interact with the digital world.
It sounds like there's a lot of potential here, both for creators and consumers.
Definitely. It's an exciting space to watch. Just remember, like with any new technology, do your research, understand the risks, and be critical.
Great advice. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of weird art and NFTs, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this?
Well, whether you're amazed by a banana taped to a wall or intrigued by the potential of NFTs, one thing is clear. The art world and the digital landscape are constantly changing. It's up to us to stay curious, keep exploring, and maybe even create something amazing ourselves.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this journey through art and NFTs. I think we've all learned a lot today.
The pleasure was all mine. Until next time, keep questioning, keep creating, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next NFT superstar.
And on that note, we'll sign off. This has been The Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed